What's up, everyone? Welcome to the March 9th edition of DraftKings Tournament Plays presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And as a reminder, you get one free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum when you sign up and make a deposit at PrizePicks. Be sure to use the code Awesemo to receive a 100% first deposit bonus up to $100. Tonight, we have a massive 12-game NBA slate. I believe it's the largest slate we've had since the NBA All-Star break. There's a ton of moving pieces, a lot of names on the injury report. So as always, it's important to tune in to the deeper dive and live before lock for the 2 hours preceding tip on the Awesemo YouTube channel. But for right now, taking a look at 5 of the top tournament options as things currently stand. Number 5, Jaylen Brunson projected for about 2% ownership with a 6% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Brunson is $6,500 with point guard and shooting guard eligibility. He is probable to play tonight against the New York Knicks. This isn't the most appealing game from a pace standpoint. It's not likely to be particularly high scoring, but right now, at least, we don't have a ton of good value options on this slate. So that does make mid-range guys like Jaylen Brunson a little bit more appealing, even though we do have a lot of top tier players that we would like to pay up for. If the value doesn't open up, then it's just a situation where Brunson could actually be a pretty useful piece. He's likely to play around 34 minutes. He averages around the fantasy point per minute, and he's just not getting much ownership. So there is some upside there. Number 4, Guillermo Hernan Gomez. $4,000, 5% projected ownership, 11% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Hernan Gomez is another player that if and when quality value opens up throughout the day, he will drop down the board pretty quickly. But the way things look right now, he is going a little bit under-owned. On average, you can expect Hernan Gomez to play 16 or 17 minutes behind Jonas Valanciunas. He's a very good point-per-minute player, averages well over a fantasy point per minute. If he even gets 16 to 17 minutes, he's likely to be a decent play at $4,000. But where the upside really comes in is if this game blows out or Valanciunas gets in foul trouble or Hernan Gomez plays well and picks up a few extra minutes, it doesn't take a lot of additional playing time for him to step up and be a very, very good value at this price tag and low ownership. Number 3, Trey Lyles is also $4,000. He's projected for 9% ownership. He has power forward and center eligibility tonight, taking on the Denver Nuggets. Lyles has basically lived in the 18 to 22 minute range since joining the Kings starting lineup, with the exception of the first game that he started, where he played really well and played around 30 minutes. But tonight, we don't have Domantas Sabonis because he's suspended. We don't have Rashawn Holmes. My expectation is that Damian Jones gets to start at center. You probably get some Alex Len backing him up, but you also could get a few additional minutes for Trey Lyles, especially if Jeremy Lamb were also to be ruled out. Lamb is currently questionable after missing the Kings' last couple of games. So you could see Lyles step into a bit bigger role. He's around a fantasy point per minute player. And at $4,000, if he does get 24 to 26 minutes, he's going to project as a pretty good point per dollar value at relatively low ownership. Number 2, CJ McCollum, $8,900, projected for 21% ownership, but with a 25% chance of being in the optimal lineup. The Pelicans will once again be without Brandon Ingram tonight. They have a favorable matchup against the Orlando Magic. McCollum's been very good since joining the Pelicans, and he gets a bump in both usage percentage and assist percentage without Brandon Ingram on the floor. If this game's competitive, you're likely to get around 36 minutes from McCollum, and you're likely to get around 1.2 to 1.3 DraftKings points per minute without Ingram. And number 1, the top tournament option on tonight's slate, Damian Jones, projected for a healthy 33% ownership, but with a 37% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Jones is center eligible, which is a little unfortunate. It makes it a little bit more difficult to get to him, but he's also only $3,400, and he's likely to start in place of the suspended Domantas Sabonis. Right now, there's just not a lot of good cheap value because most of the value options we've been using on previous slates have been priced up. We also have players like Devin Booker coming back for the Suns, which takes away some value. So getting a $3,400 Jones, someone who's averaged 0.94 DraftKings points per minute this year and is likely to now give you 28 to 30 minutes, looks like one of the top values on the slate, and it really opens up a lot on a slate where there's a lot of players that you'd like to pay up for as well. So to recap, the top 5 tournament options on DraftKings: number 5, Jaylen Brunson; number 4, Billy Hernan Gomez; number 3, Trey Lyles; number 2, CJ McCollum; and number 1, Damian Jones.